What's going on, YouTube? Thank you for coming back to another episode of Scattered Brilliancy, and it's Tuesday today, so that means I'm going to be reviewing the second episode of Love and Hip Hop Hollywood. If you haven't seen my recap of episode 1, you should go back and watch that first. So, episode 1 opens up with catching up with Soulja Boy and Nia. Soulja Boy is in some kind of studio performance practice area type thing, and he's going over some ratchet song. And Nia is in there with him. She says in her confessional, that they've been through a lot, but they're still holding it down. They're still riding and dying. Then we have Lil Fizz. He comes back, and because I didn't even realize that they weren't even in the first episode, but we get Lil Fizz's update, and he says he's working on his mixtape that's about to come out, and he also reiterates the fact that he is single and living the single life. So Lil Fizz goes into the area that Soulja Boy is in because they make it seem like Lil Fizz is recording in another room and he hears somebody knocking down the walls, as he says, or something like that. So he goes to find out who it is that's knocking down these walls, and oh my goodness, it just so happens to be Soulja Boy, who's on this same reality TV show with me. I mean, these pre-made setup situations are so unrealistic for people like me. Like, it is so obvious that Lil Fizz just didn't happen to be in Studio B and Soulja Boy just happened to be in Studio C, and we just happened to be on the same reality show together, but whatever. So Lil Fizz goes in there, he's bumping to whatever the song is, and then Soulja Boy comes down, daps him up. Nia excuses herself, says she's gonna give them time to talk or whatever. Again, Lil Fizz says that he's single and he's just enjoying that. And then he asks how Soulja Boy and Nia are doing, and he says they're cool, but he says something along the line of like, she's my main girl, but when I'm on the road, and she understands that. I think those are his words verbatim. Pretty much meaning that, yes, she's the girl that I'm with and she's the girl that I flaunt. However, when I'm on the road and I'm getting that on the road cooch, she's okay with that, and she knows that I'm getting that on the road cooch. Learning lesson in this episode. Ladies, if a man refers to you as his main, that means you're not the only one. Little secret, because if you have a main, that means it's more than one. Jesus is on the main line. Because there are other lines that people could be on, but Jesus is on the main line. That's the line you want to be on. So, if a man ever refers to you as his main or his number one, that means there are other women in the picture. Because it should be, you are my whatever, my girlfriend, whatever. Not my main, not my number one. So yeah. Next up, we meet up with Moniece and Rich Dollars, and they are at Rich Dollars' rented out place that he's staying. He's in LA for a week visiting with Moniece, and so they're there, and he's had some nice dinner, rose petals type thing. And her whole thing, because Moniece seems to be really into this relationship with Rich Dollars and really has all her focus on him, and she wants him to be in LA. Like I said in the last episode or last video I did, Rich Dollars he's been a part of the New York cast, so I'm assuming that's where he lives. So he says he's bi-coastal, and she doesn't like that. She wants him to be forever in LA or something to that effect. So she's just really trying to coerce him to move to LA, but he's like, we're gonna see how this week goes and all that kind of stuff. And I don't know if it happens particularly in this scene. It does happen in this scene because they're supposed to be having a romantic moment, and then she brings up the fact that she wants him to have a vasectomy because she doesn't want to have any more children. And Rich Dollars is pretty much like, oh my gosh, you just killed the mood. So that's pretty much the extent of that scene. Tierra Marie and Nikki, they go meet up they go have brunch at this cafe looking place, and they meet up with the new character this season named Nas. Nas is a girl. And Tierra apparently knows her, so Nikki is getting to know her, whatever. And Nas is talking about that she has man troubles. Excuse me. So they're talking about, what kind of man troubles do you have? Nas goes on to say, well, I've been seeing Soulja Boy on and off for however many years and all that kind of stuff. So that is the reason probably why we did not see Soulja Boy and Nia in last episodes, because they were about to introduce this whole section of ratchetness to the show. So this is how this goes. Nas and Nia used to be best friends. Nas met Soulja Boy because he was with Nia. So essentially, Nia's best friend was sleeping with her man. Pretty much that's what's going on. But they're not friends anymore. And Nas was making it seem like, I don't know, I don't feel like going back to look. I wasn't sure if Nas was making it seem like Nia was aware or unaware of the fact that they've been together. However, Nas is aware of the fact that Nia is the one that he flaunts as his main chick. Nicki is kind of taken aback by all of this information because Nicki is close friends with Nia. So that's where she says her loyalty lies. But she's still trying to get the information so that she can take it back to her friend. Side note, like I told y'all in the last recap, Nicki is doing a lingerie line and Tierra is doing a blazer line for women. I think it's called Blaze Her. I think that's the name of it. So they were talking about teaming up to do, I think, a fashion show with Nicki's lingerie and Tierra's blazer line. And Nas was talking about she runs this kind of boot camp workout type thing. So they were saying, oh, well, we're trying to put together this fashion show. Maybe we should come to your workout thing to get, fit. And also now Nas somehow has models. I'm not really sure why. I might have missed it because it wasn't relevant to me. But Nas has a lot of connections with pretty models. So they also wanted to talk to her because they want to use her models for the fashion show. So Nas invites them to the boot camp thing that she's having. And this is the key phrase: invite whoever you want to. We're going to come back to why she says that a little bit later in this telecast. Next, we enter into a club scene with Miles and Milan. For those who don't remember who Miles and Milan are, they are the gay couple that has been introduced this season. Just to refresh your mind, Milan is openly gay. He's completely comfortable with his sexuality. He has no issues with it. Miles, on the other hand, is still in the closet at that point in filming. Obviously, he's out to the world now, but at that point in filming, he's still in the closet, and he's still potentially messing with this girl named Amber, who is his ex, who was his high school sweetheart. So they're in the club looking like homeboys because they say that's the only way that they can go out in public is to look like homeboys. And they're at the strip club just, that the slow motion stuff will VH1 be looking like this. So that's how the slow motion stuff, there was a whole bunch of that and a whole bunch of, y'all know what that means. It was a whole bunch of that. So then they leave the club and they're having the exact same conversation that they were having last episode about the fact that Miles is not really prepared to enter into this full-on relationship with Milan and let the whole world know, I'm gay and I'm proud. He's not ready to do that yet. And to me, and I don't want this to sound offensive, but it was interesting because their conversation as far as I'm ready to be with you and you're not ready to be with me seemed very typical of what I see women go through these days. Now, I'm not trying to, insult homosexuals or anything like that, but I just thought, oh my gosh, this is that same typical conversation that so many women have with their man, saying that I'm ready to be with you. How come you don't be with me in public, and how come you don't show me off, and I'm tired of being hidden and all that kind of stuff. So I felt like, oh my gosh, like that is the exact same conversation that they had. And Miles is just not fully prepared because, like I said in the last video, his family doesn't know, his ex boo girl thing doesn't know either. So he's just not ready. Milan said he's comfortable with it, but Miles he's just not comfortable to be fully gay. I guess that's how you say it. Now we're at Tierra Marie's photo shoot for her blazers. Amber, Miles's high school sweetheart, is her model. It's just amazing that all of these people are just so connected in this reality world. Like, they all know each other, It kind of makes you wonder, do y'all really know each other, or is it just conveniently all put together? I wonder that sometimes. But whatever, I'm gonna roll with it. It's TV. So, Amber, Miles's sweetheart, is the model. It's for Tierra's blazer, Blaze Hers, and Moniece is there just in support of her friend Tierra. So, Moniece is catching Tierra up on the fact that she's now with Rich Dollars, and she's happy to get the D, and she wants the D forever, and Tierra Marie is like, really? Rich Dollars? But, girl, if you happy. And Amber comes over and Tia introduces Amber to Moniece. Amber goes on and she talks about how she's just frustrated within her situation about being with Miles and how she's feeling like they're back to being a couple again, back to being in love. And then we also find out that Miles has been a father figure to Amber's daughter. I don't remember Amber's daughter's name, but Amber has a daughter and Miles has become a father figure because I believe she said the father died some time ago. And something's coming up where, you know, she's hoping that he's going to be there for her daughter. And she's just feeling like they're in a relationship, but he's just not showing her that he's ready, and he's just not, you know, actually recommitting himself to her. And Moniece is pretty much, you know, saying, you know, hey, you know, people's actions will show you what you need to know, despite, you know, how you feel. You need to pay attention to those actions or whatever. Tia Marie goes on to talk about Princess and their meeting last episode. And Moniece is just not here for it at all. As she says, she's Team Tiara. So anything that has to do with Princess, she really ain't trying to hear it. And Tiara talks about how she was very empathetic for Princess. But then after it was all over, she started to think, why am I feeling this way about this girl who kind of, you know, messed up my situation with Ray J back in the day? So that's all that really happened in that scene. Next, we're in the store with Nikki and Nia, and Nikki is just telling her everything that happened at that brunch I told y'all about earlier. That was it. Nia says, oh my gosh, this chick, this B word, can't believe she's doing this. And that's that scene. Moniece and Rich Dollars are at the pool, and what happened? Main thing that happens that we find out is that Moniece has this tattoo on her hip. She says she got the tattoo when she was 18 of her first sexual partner, her first boyfriend, the guy who was kind of like her first everything. And she's never covered it up. However, Rich has a problem with the fact that she has a tattoo of another man's name. I think it was like a crown and a name. They really didn't show a clear visual of it. But Rich is pretty much telling her beside the pool that, you know, I got a problem with that tattoo. And, you know, when we're intimate, I feel like I'm sharing you with this guy. But Moniece is like, but it shouldn't matter. You know, I had a baby with Fizz and he had a problem with it, and I still didn't do anything about it. So Rich is like, that really doesn't matter. And I agree. You know, not to say that a female should or should not get her tattoo covered up, but you can't compare how I feel about something when it comes to the person that I'm with how your ex felt about that same thing. You know, I'm not your ex, you know, whatever. And personally, I wouldn't want to be with somebody who has somebody else's name tattooed on them. You know, that's just me as Travis. I wouldn't want to do that. So I side with Rich in that you need to get the thing covered up or get it lasered off. One or the other. But I'm not about to be walking around and you got another man's name on you. Lesson number 2 in this episode. Don't get people's names tattooed on you. Okay? Princess meets up with Tia Marie at some bar. And they really ain't talking about anything important. Princess just tells her that she appreciates her, you know, being there for her when she was having that down moment. Princess goes on to talk about her relationship with Ray J, how Ray J has kept her in the house for 2 years and how she's ready to, you know, get out, and she only moved to LA to be with Ray J. Tia Marie saying, yeah, you should do that, and yeah, it's possible, you know, we could maybe one day be friends. You know, I realize that all this show really is these two have a conversation, then these two have a conversation. And then one of these people goes back and tells somebody else what happened in this conversation, which starts another conversation, which leads to another one over here. And then these two persons split up, and then this person goes to... That's really all this show is. They don't do nothing on this show. It's a studio shot every now and then, but it really ain't much of nothing going on but he say, she say. That's pretty much all that happens at the bar. Princess is pretty much done with her relationship with Ray J. She really feels like she's not going to get a ring, so she's kind of like over it. And Tia Marie is happy to see this because Tia Marie feels like y'all people, you know, had my life all in a tizzy last year, and now I'm happy to see that. I'm happy to see that his glittering relationship isn't solid gold. When they be saying stuff like that, I'm like, who wrote that? Who wrote that? Who talks like that? I'm just happy to see that his glittering relationship isn't solid gold. Like, next we pull up to Milan at the house. He doing something not important. He want to know where Miles is. He don't know where Miles is. Guess where Miles is? Miles is out being the guy in the relationship. Miles is out doing whatever he wants to do. And guess who he's doing it with? He's doing it with his ex, Amber. Where is he doing it? What is he doing? He's going to meet Amber with her daughter Zoe. That's her name. Zoe is in a studio with a dance teacher dancing, and he's going there to see her dance. Miles is pretty much like, I had important people in my life. I had important people in my life before I met Milan. So if he can't handle that, I'm sorry. That's pretty much all Miles is doing. Yeah, so like I said earlier, like he's living that double life kind of, you know, like that's pretty much all that's going on. He said he's not answering Milan's calls. Milan's blowing his phone up. Milan doesn't like when he doesn't know where Miles is. Same old, same old. Next, Ray J is pulling up to his house, and guess who just so happens to be walking out the house looking sexy? Princess. And she has a bag. Where is she going? I don't know, but she's leaving. And Ray J is upset about it. And Ray J's head is looking real peasy in these couple of episodes. I'm wondering if he's trying to grow dreadlocks, but that whole sponge thing that all you dudes are doing with the sponge and like, never mind, that's neither here nor there. Anyway, Princess comes out the house and Ray J's like, where you going? She's like, I'm leaving, you don't respect me, all this other kind of stuff. And he's like, go in the house and change your clothes. I told you about coming out the house with your titties out. She's like, my titties ain't out, I just ain't got a bra on. So, yeah. She's asking him, like, has he gotten everything out the house, out the apartment from last episode? And he's like, yeah, I'm getting out furniture, and I'm getting out furniture, and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, where you going? And why you dressed like that? I told you about coming out the house and without having your titties out and stuff. Like, that's how he talks. That is all that happened, y'all. It really ain't nothing but her trying to get his attention. That's really, at the end of the day, that's really all that's going on right here. Princess is just trying to get Ray J's attention and let him know what he has at home and that it's possible that he can lose that. That's all that's going on. Next up is Rich and Moniece at the tattoo shop. Moniece says that she's going to oblige him and get the tattoo covered up. I meant to say earlier that her kind of trade-off thing was, if I'm getting this tattoo, bruh, you need to be moving to LA full time. And Rich is like, nah, that ain't happening. So anyway, they're at the tattoo shop, and she brings up the whole moving to LA thing, and she even brings up the fact that she wants them to move in together now that she's getting this tattoo covered up. And she runs down this short list of all the advantages of them moving in together. Menages, possibly. Skinny dipping in the hot tub. The possibilities are endless. So pretty much every advantage to them moving in together is something sexual or naked. Okay. She gets the tattoo covered up, and it wasn't a name, it was the initials. So Ray J pops up on the screen. Since Princess was keeping me in the dark about this Tiara situation, I gotta talk to somebody that's gonna keep it 100 and who gonna tell me what's happening. And that person is Tiara Marie. They meet up on some cliff. So Ray J has called her because he is concerned about the things that's happened. Princess apparently stayed out all night, and it's implied that she stayed out all night with Tiara. So he wanted to find out, why are y'all talking, what's going on. Tiara shows up with the mindset that she thinks he's about to apologize for everything that he's done to her and all the drama that they went through last year. But that ain't what's happening. He's just trying to get some information on where his girl was. I think that's all that's really important here. I know I'm probably leaving out little details, but if you want the little details, watch the darn show. But that's pretty much it. She was hoping for an apology. I believe he gives it to her. And, he ends it real dramatic. But I mean, if I call you again, are you going to answer? So now we're at a workout thing, and we have Tiara, Nikki, and Nas. And up walks April, Nia, and then some other girl who they didn't say who she was. Nikki says in her confessional that she invited Nia and April because she wanted Nia to check Nas. But when Nas sees that they're coming up, and Tiara asks Nikki, did you invite Nia? And Nikki is like, no, I invited April. Liar! You just said you invited Nia. Why y'all gotta lie? I'm like, if y'all gonna be selling these wolf tickets, at least, be like, yeah, I invited her. Come on now. So as soon as everybody kind of gets into places, Nas approaches Nia and like, we need to talk. Nia's like, what we need to talk about? She's like, we need to talk about our friendship and soldier and all of that other kind of stuff. So they're arguing kind of back and forth. Nia in her confessional is like, this chick is so delusional to think that she's with him, and she says whores get effed all the time. So let me pause and stop right here. What I don't understand is why in these situations the girls get so amped up with each other and never get as amped with the guys. Like females. There's plenty of penis in this world. Plenty. So for y'all to be going at each other when it's the penis that's causing, you let a penis penetrate your friendship. A penis! Y'all know what that's from? Oh, I love y'all. I can't wait for our show to come back on. You let a penis penetrate your friendship. A penis! Well, let me hurry up and get up off here. So they're going back and forth. Ain't nobody doing nothing. Ain't nobody swinging. If they was about that life, they would have been swinging. They was this close. There was nothing but space and opportunity, and they missed both. They didn't do anything. April steps in at one point, and then Nia gonna have the nerve to say, "You need to get your teeth fixed." Nia, baby girl, you ain't got the best teeth to be telling somebody else they need to get their teeth fixed. So that's pretty much where the episode ends. Didn't nobody do anything. It wasn't nothing but a bunch of hollering back and forth. Like I said, they could have fought each other if they really wanted to. Anyway, that is my recap for Love and Hip Hop Hollywood Season 2, Episode 2. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure that you rate, comment, and subscribe. And I will definitely at least be seeing y'all back this same time next week right here on Scattered Brilliancy. Y'all take care. Peace.